Here we are, another end to a day. It is Wednesday, October. What is it? I don't know what day it is. Anyway, what day is it? It is what? The 23rd. There we go. Anyway, it was a good day. I got a lot done today. What is it? I wanted to talk about something. I think I'm done talking about how cranky temping is. Oh, by the way, my payday is midnight tonight. I could show you. I'm overdrawn in my bank account. That's how lame this is. The more I think about it, the more it feels like exploitation. I don't mind giving away the first few months of my time at a reduced rate so that they can prove, or I can prove to myself I'm worth keeping. But I think I did tell you I do have another job interview lined up Saturday morning, late morning. So that's with an MSP, and we're going to have a chat and see if I can earn myself a little bit more money. I also didn't mention how I have 4 years of prior experience working directly for the company that does the outsourced IT work. I don't want to name names yet. I'll start naming names when I leave. If I leave, I'll name names. But yeah, I actually have 4 years of logged experience working as Dell Warranty Repair with the company that does the IT for the company I actually perform the labor for. And yeah, the more I think about that, the more silly it seems that I'm a temp, because I've already proved to myself that I'm reliable. I proved to the company I'm reliable after 4 years. So that was a while ago. That was 12 years ago the last time I worked there. So yeah, I started almost 15 years ago. So I actually didn't put it on my resume that got me this job. It came up in conversation, but ultimately I didn't want to date myself. I didn't want to be too excited to brag about the fact that I've been working for 20 years. So that's something to consider when you're sharing your resume and talking in interviews, because I'm just now getting into the age where age discrimination can be a problem. So I purposely only put my sole proprietorship on my resume. Now that I've taken this job for, I guess I think it's just been about 2 months, solid 2 months. I'm about to start, well, this is the middle of my 8th week, I think. So, what was I going to say? This job, I didn't put my prior jobs prior to the sole proprietorship. Now that I have this job, what I've done is added this job with my prior experience working as Dell Warranty Repair, because I wanted to prove the point. That's right. My narrative got distracted because someone just walked by the car. So I wanted on the resume the 2 jobs, even though they were short-lived. No, the one with Dell wasn't short-lived, but the one where I am now has only been a couple months. But it proves that I've worked for this one company 2 times. Basically, I'm rehireable. So that's why I wouldn't normally put that Dell warranty job from 15 years ago on there, except it was run by the same company that runs the IT, the outsourced IT for the company I work for now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the resume is about as top-notch as possible. I didn't have much time to study for my exams. I spent a little bit of time dabbling with my Network Plus, my Project Plus, and I actually paid $12 for a Udemy class for the Project Plus. $12 is $12. So I think it's a solid 15-hour course, and that's about IT project management. I figured I could take that degree or certificate outside of IT if it made sense, although supposedly it centralizes around IT. We'll see as I go further how IT strict it is. But that's pretty much it. I think that's about all I have today. um, yeah, I'll be shaving my face in the next day or two because I have my morning appointment at the other job, which is at the MSP. I don't know, did I mention what an MSP is in the last video? Managed service provider. I think I said something about that, which is basically sort of what the company is for the company I work for now. But MSPs don't necessarily have full-time labor on site. They often have remote support and like continued visitations, but they don't necessarily have full-time 8-hour a day support. So I don't know if the company that employs me would be considered an MSP, but it stands for Managed Service Provider. That's generally, the bigger the company, the more likely they are hiring someone like that because of the way the paperwork works. I guess it makes it cheaper for them. Unfortunately, when you do that too, it means someone like me earns a little bit less, and I'm not even that. I'm a temp of that company. That's why I'm bitching and moaning. So I've got layers upon layers of why I'm not getting a livable wage. So, stopped at Costco, got me my $3 worth of hot dogs. That was the plan, knowing I was getting paid. I don't feel so bad knowing I have a few bucks coming in at midnight tonight. But I need to put gas in the car. I've got my belly fed, and yeah, and of course I'm using all my extra cash to pay down the debt I've accrued over the last several years just because my business slowed down. COVID was a huge hammer, and then choosing to move my shop to Manhattan Beach where the building was falling apart. I was cajoled into that direction. I think I talked a little bit of detail about that, how I chose the office in Manhattan because it was bigger and less expensive than what I had in Redondo. So the foot traffic there was not as good. I was right on Sepulveda, or PCH, if you know it. In that part of town in LA, it's called Sepulveda. Some of my challenge was getting traffic to stop because they're doing 45, 50, 65, sometimes 60 miles an hour down that stretch. And parking in that building was not the most easy to deal with. And then, of course, the building was falling apart. And it's a wealthy, up-and-coming, it's not an up-and-coming city, but it's a lot of new money kind of city, that kind of up-and-coming. So you got a bunch of Gen Xers with their first-time six-figure degrees, or younger, and they don't necessarily want to go shopping in a building that's falling apart. That's why my rent was cheap. It was also cheap because I knew we were all getting kicked out. I originally was only going to be there for 2 years, but I was ultimately there for 5. So for those of you that don't know the full story, I've been self-employed for a dozen years, working as a sole proprietor, IT support. Technically, you could say I'm a one-man MSP. I had a shop down in Redondo, which was 200 square feet. Got rid of that after 4 years, doing really well. My 4th year, I did the best year. And then I did intending to do 2 years in Manhattan at the bigger space, doing 5 total. And yeah, it was kind of downhill from there, realizing it was a bad location, but also COVID was not a good thing. And yeah, so I could have made a few better decisions, but it was a cheaper office. It was bigger. I didn't think that the traffic issue, I've figured there was plenty of facade for people to see going down a world famous stretch of highway, but I guess that wasn't good enough. So yeah, there's that. And then ultimately, when we got kicked out of that building, I wasn't quite ready to close up shop. So I spent a year back down in Redondo and got an even bigger office. But the mistake with that place is it was more of an office. It was not a walk-in retail outlet. So yeah, retail frontage is expensive. I could not have afforded regular retail frontage. Even the place where I was in Manhattan was a lot less expensive than normal retail frontage, which is what that was, but it was falling apart and very temporary. So that's pretty much what happened. So I was on my own. I'm going to be uploading this video to more than one location. So if I sound repetitive because of a video you've seen, it's because I'm also sending the same video. I'm doing a double whammy, trying to recycle this video on other platforms and including content that isn't on those platforms because I wasn't sure. I didn't have direction about where I want to send this content. But that's pretty much it. So I'm finishing up my 2 months where I am working on them for a very large manufacturing firm, or engineering firm, we'll call it. And excited about feeling optimistic about having a job interview that is already likely to pay more because I told them exactly what's that. I told them I'm getting paid $20 an hour and I just need a livable wage. So the owner at that company is in full understanding. $20 an hour is not very livable for a technical skill set. And frankly, I could probably do a lot better if I didn't have debt. But that's the way life goes. I accrued my debt because I had to stay fed. That's pretty much it. I didn't go buy a bunch of toys. I have a very entry-level car. I was thrilled buying an entry-level car that has no problems. I still get paranoid about leaving the windows up because it locks normally because the other cars I've had in the past. It's almost impossible to lock yourself out because there's some stupid way to get in without the keys. So this XB is at this point a 12-year-old car and it has no problems. And I bought it because it had less than 100,000 miles on it. 10-year-old car with 80,000 miles. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate everyone that says hi. I guess that's it for now. Bye. Good night.